Picture this. A shadowy giant slicing through the night sky, invisible to radar, packing enough firepower to change the course of a war, all for a cool $2 billion a pop. That's the B-2 Spirit, America's stealth bomber extraordinaire. A marvel of engineering that's as mysterious as it is mighty. But peel back the layers and you'll find the real story, the grueling, behind-the-scenes grind of maintenance that keeps this bird undetectable and deadly. From finicky coatings to high-tech hideouts, it's a tale of precision and passion that makes every flight possible. Buckle up, we're diving in. Hey there, folks. Welcome to the deep dive on one of the most badass pieces of machinery ever to grace the skies, the B-2 Spirit stealth bomber. If you're like most Americans, you might have caught glimpses of this thing in movies or news clips, looking like a futuristic bat out of hell. But trust me, the real deal is even more impressive, and today we're zeroing in on what makes it tick, especially the unsung hero of its story, maintenance. We'll unpack its history, how it stays off the radar, literally, the insane upkeep it demands, and why all that sweat equity pays off in missions that stay under wraps. Think of this like your favorite YouTube deep dive or a gripping podcast episode. Conversational, packed with facts, and straight to the point, all in good old American style. Let's kick things off with a bit of backstory to set the stage. The B-2 didn't just pop out of nowhere. It's a product of the Cold War era, when the U.S. was locked in an arms race with the Soviets. Back in the late 1970s, under President Jimmy Carter, the Air Force launched the Advanced Technology Bomber Program. The goal? Create a plane that could sneak past the most advanced enemy defenses without getting pinged on radar. Northrop Grumman snagged the contract in 1981, building on old-school flying wing designs from the 1940s, like the YB-49, that their founder Jack Northrop had pioneered. Fast forward to July 17, 1989, the first B-2 takes to the air from Palmdale, California. It was a game changer, but production got scaled back after the Berlin Wall fell. Instead of 132 planes, we ended up with just 21, each one handcrafted with precision that rivals a Swiss watch. These birds entered full service in 1997 at Whiteman Air Force Base in Missouri, home to the 509th Bomb Wing, the same outfit that dropped the atomic bombs in World War II. Talk about legacy. Now, what makes the B-2 so special? It's all about that stealth tech, baby. This isn't your grandpa's bomber. It's a flying wing design, no tail or fuselage, just a sleek, bat-like shape spanning 172 feet, wider than a football field, including the end zones. Weighing in at up to 376,000 pounds fully loaded, it's powered by 4 General Electric F-118 engines that push it to speeds around 630 miles per hour, with a range of over 6,000 nautical miles without refueling. That means it can take off from Missouri, hit targets halfway around the world, and come home for dinner. But the real magic is in its invisibility cloak. The B-2's radar cross-section is tiny, about 0.1 square meters, smaller than a bird's. How? Curved surfaces deflect radar waves. Buried engines hide heat signatures. And the whole thing is coated in special materials that suck up radar like a sponge. We're talking composites lighter than aluminum but stronger than steel, plus that radar-absorbent material, or RAM, which is the star of our maintenance show. Without giving away classified secrets, it's like painting your car with a high-tech matte finish that doesn't reflect light, or in this case, radio waves. Speaking of costs, yeah, the B-2 doesn't come cheap. Each one rings up at about $2.13 billion when you factor in development, testing, and all the bells and whistles. That's more than the GDP of some small countries. But in the world of military hardware, it's a bargain for what it delivers. The ability to deliver up to 40,000 pounds of bombs, conventional or nuclear, right into the heart of enemy territory without them knowing what hit them. Armaments range from precision-guided dams, joint direct attack munitions, to massive bunker busters like the 30,000-pound GBU-57. And get this, it only needs a crew of 2, a pilot and a mission commander, who can even catch some Z's on long hauls thanks to autopilot and a little bunk area. It's like a high-stakes RV trip, but with way more explosives. All right, now let's get to the meat of it, the maintenance. You might think flying a B-2 is all adrenaline and glory, but behind every sortie is a mountain of meticulous work. This isn't like servicing your pickup truck at the local garage. It's a high-stakes operation where even a tiny flaw could turn this ghost into a sitting duck. The crews, dedicated airmen from maintainers to engineers, pour hundreds of hours into each plane before and after flights. Why so much? Blame it on that stealth tech. The B-2 skin is its superpower, but it's also its Achilles heel. That RAM coating we mentioned? It's a special concoction of materials that absorbs radar waves instead of bouncing them back. Think of it like the ultimate camouflage. But for electronics, the problem is it's super sensitive. A small scratch, dent, or even exposure to the elements can degrade its effectiveness, making the plane more visible to enemy radars. So, maintainers have to inspect and repair it with the care of a surgeon. They use specialized tools to apply patches or recoat sections, sometimes stripping down layers and rebuilding them from scratch. Every 7 years or so, the plane gets a full spa treatment, washed with crystallized wheat starch. Yeah, like the stuff in your pantry, to gently remove grime without damaging the surface. Then they scan for imperfections under controlled lighting. But you can't just park a B-2 anywhere for this work. Nope, it demands a VIP setup, climate-controlled hangars that keep humidity, temperature, and dust at bay. These aren't your average sheds. They're massive structures, some costing millions, like the extra-large deployable aircraft hangars used on deployments. Why the fuss? Moisture can warp the composites. Extreme temps can crack the coatings and dust particles might embed in the RAM, ruining its stealth properties. Imagine trying to tail a luxury sports car in a dusty garage. It'd be a disaster. For the B-2, it's the same but amplified. One wrong move, and you compromise national security. These dock shelters, as they're sometimes called, are essentially high-tech bubbles where crews can work in shirt sleeves, monitoring every variable. And get this, unlike commercial jets that get hosed down on the tarmac, the B-2 stays indoors. Washing it outside? Forget it. Rainwater could seep into seams and cause corrosion or electrical shorts. Then there are the onboard systems. Over 130 of M, from nuclear-hardened navigation gear that shrugs off EMP blasts to next-gen avionics that handle everything from targeting to communications. Each one gets manual checks because automation only goes so far in something this complex. We're talking days, sometimes weeks, of diagnostics. The plane has a built-in test system that flags issues post-flight, but humans do the heavy lifting, crawling into access panels, testing circuits, calibrating sensors. For example, the N/APQ 181 radar, key for terrain following in bad weather, had early glitches with heavy rain, mistaking drops for obstacles and risking the coatings. Software fixes sorted that by the late 90s, but underscores how intertwined flight and maintenance are. Crews also deal with the engines, buried deep in the wings to minimize infrared signatures, which means disassembly is a chore. And don't forget the bomb bays. They have opened smoothly without disrupting stealth, so hinges and seals get obsessive attention. Here's a stat that'll blow your mind. The maintenance-to-flight ratio for the B-2 is a whopping 119-1. That means for every single hour this beast spends soaring, it needs 119 hours on the ground getting pampered. Compare that to a B-52, which clocks in at about 53:1, or a commercial airliner that might need just 10 to 20 hours per flight hour. Why the difference? Stealth demand perfection. A tiny imperfection could light up on radar like a Christmas tree. To put it in perspective, if you drove your car for an hour, imagine spending 5 days straight in the shop afterward. That's the B-2 life. But it's not inefficiency. It's the price of invincibility. Maintainers work in shifts, using everything from laser scanners to detect cracks to specialized tapes for quick fixes. And when deployed, they bring portable kits to keep things humming far from home base. Who are these unsung heroes? Mostly enlisted airmen and civilians at Whiteman, trained for years on this unique bird. They deal with classified stuff, so stories are rare. But imagine the pride, knowing your work keeps pilots safe and mission secret. Take a real-world example from a 2008 crash of the Spirit of Kansas in Guam. Moisture in sensors caused a takeoff mishap. The only B-2 lost. It led to fleet-wide checks and better training, showing how maintenance evolves. Or the 2022 incident where a landing gear failure damaged another. Repairs took months, but the fleet bounced back stronger. All this prep culminates in the missions, where the B-2 shines. It's not just about dropping bombs. It's strategic deterrence. First combat? Kosovo in 1999, where B-2s flew from Missouri, hit targets with dams, and returned over 30-hour round trips. They dropped 11% of the war's munitions, but flew just 1% of the sorties, proving efficiency. In Afghanistan and Iraq, they took out high-value targets like Saddam's palaces or Taliban strongholds without detection. Libya in 2011, 3 B-2s from Whiteman struck 45 targets in one go. More recently, in 2024 against Houthi sites in Yemen, and even Iran in 2025 with bunker busters on nuclear facilities. These ops are hush-hush. Most Americans never hear details, but they ship battles without escalating the boots on the ground. The B-2 stealth means it can loiter undetected, gathering intel or waiting for the perfect strike. Looking ahead, the B-2's got upgrades rolling. New radars, better comms like Link 16, and materials that cut maintenance time. But by 2032, it'll hand the baton to the B-21 Raider, a next-gen stealth bomber that's cheaper and easier to maintain. Until then, the Spirit remains our ace in the hole. So, wrapping this up, the B-2 isn't just a plane. It's a symbol of American ingenuity, where cutting-edge tech meets old-fashioned elbow grease. That pursuit of perfection in maintenance ensures it stays hidden, ready to protect us from threats we might never see coming. Next time you hear a distant rumble, remember, it could be a B-2 ghosting through the night. Thanks to the folks who keep it flawless. Thanks for hanging out. Stay curious. America. Word count, 1823.